So, if you are the single source of all creativity and all output in your agency today, and you are the one that actually has to solve every single problem that a client comes up with, your team comes up with, that happens every single day in your agency, and you are being sucked into every single project, that is likely because you are doing too much. And in this video, I actually want to talk to you about how productization can actually help you get out of the place that you are currently in and actually create more scale so that you can have more time and more focus in specific projects, have greater impact with your clients, and ultimately be able to scale your agency. My name is Robert Patton, and I'm the founder of Creative Agency Success. We work with agencies every single day to help them grow and scale their agencies, really being able to simplify their operations so that they can maximize profitability and ultimately have the business that they've always dreamt of. So the core of this problem typically tends to be that the agency owner, when they first started, was phenomenal at the thing that they do, right? Could be web design, could be graphic design, could be branding, could be loads of different things, or all of the above. And largely, you have many years worth of experience and you got your first client that ended up with the second client via word of mouth. You ended up having so many clients that you didn't have time to do it all and brought on freelancers or brought on an employee so that ultimately you can continue to execute on the work. But it's largely your experience, your expertise is the entire crux of the entire agency. And as clients needed more work, you said yes to every single thing that they needed. And I'm sorry to break it to you if I'm the first person to tell you this, but you are not great at every single one of those services that you offer. Unless you are only offering 1 to 3 different services and you actually are specialized and productized, this probably isn't the video for you anyways. You're doing more things than you should be doing, and you are not best in class at them. And you have this kind of FOMO mentality to saying no to a prospective client or an existing client that's asking you to do work that is ultimately outside of your wheelhouse. And largely what ends up happening is you're great at the thing that you actually do well, but then you start to do something else with the client and it's lackluster. The client doesn't have the result they're looking for, and the vast majority of agencies actually end up losing the client because of this. And they end up going somewhere else. They don't end up having had a good experience and ultimately didn't have the end outcome. So agency loses, client loses, you lose because you're trying to spend so much time to figure out how to do that, giving it even extra juice to be able to actually have it have the outcome. And it's largely extremely disappointing for everyone involved. So why? The success of your agency is actually predicated on you saying no to this type of work. For you to not need to be the jack of all trades. Nobody actually believes in them, including yourself. But yet you are doing this work and you're trying to sell it rather than actually doing the work that you are phenomenal at that is best in class. So what I suggest that you do is look through that list of services that you offer and what items are you better than everyone else at? What items can you just and do you know like the back of your hand? That you know so incredibly well that when you work on it with a client, it lights you up, the client has success, and everyone is just over the moon excited. Which of those services that you have on that list are those? Likely where you first started for the vast majority of you. Not exclusively for every single one of you, but for the vast majority of you. What was that work? What was that thing? And what I want you to get back to is that. What you were phenomenal at. What you are best in class at. Largely, you not doing this, you are the roadblock to your own success. Your team is needing you. You are the block in that funnel. Your client needs to talk to you about everything because your team doesn't have the expertise. Once you're able to actually productize and get down to the core root of what ultimately you do, you're able to look at your team. Do you have the right team that actually can execute on this work? Then you can actually start to put together systems that allows for this work to actually be repeatable. That process that allows for you to have that just supreme level quality of the work that you do with every single client, time after time, day after day, without you. Now, I want you to close your eyes for a moment and think of the day that you are able to actually spend your time on vacation and not have to actually solve every single problem. Think about the day that 5 o'clock rolls around and you are completely disconnected from your computer. You don't have to worry about that scathing client email. that annoying email from a team member that you have received that same question a dozen times, or having to dig in deeply to solve a problem that you are unfamiliar with. When you actually productize and actually get down to the root of what you do phenomenally well, that will be your future. That will be your reality. You need to actually get back to what you do phenomenally well. And there's lots of strategies and ways that we can actually go about doing this specifically for you, depending on your billing model and your service vertical. And we're absolutely happy to have a conversation with you about exactly how you can go about doing this, making the transition from the services that you're currently offering, starting to actually migrate your existing clients into that, and ultimately doing only the work that you are best in class at. Do me a favor, book a call with a link below in this video, and at the very least, do not forget to subscribe.